Hey, so I'm a food writer, and is anyone here in the restaurant business? If you are, just pretend you haven't seen me here, because you're not supposed to know what I look like. In fact, if you could go through this whole talk with your eyes closed, that's even better. Hey, whenever I tell people I'm a food writer or food critic, I actually hesitate to do so because they have very fixed ideas of what a food writer or food critic is. To them, I'm this very meticulous, exacting, a little bit mean person who tastes everything and goes, okay. Or some people think that I have a great life, that I get all my meals for free, I get the best tables at the restaurants, I get a free bottle of wine, all the owners come and say, oh yeah, I've got to try this. And okay, neither of those scenarios is true. I actually don't have a food allowance. I'm not allowed to show myself, to let the restaurant know that I'm here, so I do all my reservations anonymously. And I do get paid for my articles. I get paid about $3,000, which just about covers the cost of my meal. I mean, some meals are cheaper than that, some meals are more expensive. It all comes out even in the end. So basically, I get paid, I eat, and it's quits. So I don't make money from it, which leads us to the question, why do I keep on doing it? And I've been doing it for a while. I've been doing it for almost 15 years now, writing about food. I do it because I feel very, very passionate about the Philippine food scene, about Philippine chefs, about Philippine restaurants, about the Philippine food industry. And I love Pancake House, by the way. If you think back to when I started 15 years ago, what the food scene was like, I don't know if you kids know what it was like 15 years ago. There were no restaurants. We did eat grass. I mean, there were no restaurants. There were just a few. If you were thinking of going out, you just had a couple of choices. Now there's new restaurant opening every week. I'm behind with my deadlines because there are so many restaurants that I still have to try. If you want Japanese food, it's not just one kind of Japanese food. There's ramen. There are so many specialized restaurants for every kind of food that you want to try, and some that you never thought that you knew you wanted to try. So I really believe in the food scene, and I really believe in the Philippine food industry. Now, those who are in the food industry will tell you that a restaurant is one of the most difficult businesses to run because they're actually doing three things. You're running a factory. It's the back of the house. You're chop, 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 you're making things, you're sourcing ingredients, you're creating something. It's a production line. In the front of the house, you're doing retail. You're trying to sell people things. You're trying to sell, would you like this dish, sir? Would you like this? You're trying to get people to buy things. You're trying to get people to buy that expensive bottle of wine with the 3x markup. So you're doing retail. And you're also in a service industry. And so you get these three things together, and that is the restaurant experience. And that is what a food writer writes about. Now, in a way, you could say that the role of the food writer is superfluous, and some people would argue that. I mean, why why does there need to be a food critic in the first place? Because you have that restaurant experience, and you have customers going to the restaurant, and in a way, the market is self-correcting. If people go to the restaurant, they like it, they're going to take out their wallet and pay for it, they're going to give a big tip, and then they're going to go home to their friends and say, hey, you have to check out this restaurant, go there. Or they're going to go home and go to their friends and say, oh God, that restaurant's terrible, don't go there. If the restaurant is, if their friends, if they give a good review to their friends will go there, they'll have a good meal, they'll take out their wallet, put money at the table, leave a good tip, and that cycle goes on, and the restaurant floats. And the restaurant to which people don't go to, they sink. So in a way, the market works. The people vote with their wallets. So what am I doing here? What's my role? Well, first of all, I can nudge the market. There's some restaurants which are undeservedly unknown. There's a chef, he starts a place kind of off the beaten track. He's really passionate about it, but he doesn't have the money for marketing. But then I hear about it, I go there, and then I write about it. And then I bring the attention of people to it, and then people go there. And that's one of my favorite things to do, to discover a restaurant that no one really knows about, and a chef that people haven't really heard of yet. And I tell people, this guy is amazing. You have to go and try this restaurant. And that's one of the most wonderful things, wonderful parts of the job. Then, on the other hand, a little less pleasant, there are some restaurants that have to be taken down a notch or two, because they've got some foreign chef, and he has his Michelin stars, and he has restaurants in Dubai and everywhere, and then the marketing team is in overdrive, so it's in all the newspapers and everything, and everyone goes there and how's the food? And I have to be the kid who says, the emperor has no clothes. I have to be the person who says, wait a minute, okay, no one wants to say it, but the food there is actually really pretty bad. And then after that, there can be a little dialogue. People, and then they can work on their food. Because if everyone's saying, oh, the food's great, if everyone's not saying anything, then there can be no dialogue. And it's that dialogue between the restaurant, the chefs, the owners, the restaurateurs, and their customers that make the food seem great. It's that meeting. So, what do I look for in a restaurant? The first, there are just two things. Okay. The first goes under the broad label of serviceability. And under that very broad categorization, I will put things like, is the restaurant clean? Are there cockroaches? Do they use fresh ingredients? Is the food warm? Does it arrive on time? Does the bill take 1 million years to arrive? Do the servers know what they're talking about? Are their hands clean? Are their uniforms pressed? Is the food at least edible? So this is just serviceability. These are the basics. And a lot of restaurants which try to do quality management, they'll give you a little form to fill up. And these are the questions that are on that form. How is the restaurant? Was the food served on time? Was the food hot? Are the servers pleasant? Okay, that's all serviceability. And these are the basic things that a restaurant should have. And you'd be amazed at how many restaurants fail just on the basis of serviceability alone. Or maybe you won't, because you eat out in Manila. You know how many restaurants don't get this right, especially service. The second is a little more difficult to pin down, and I was thinking of several words for it. I was thinking, is it interestingness? Is it about a concept? But then when you say concept is for the marketing team. Concept is what you tell the mall so that they know whether to put you in the fashion hall or Mega A or Mega B, to put you beside the electronics shop, or with all the other restaurants beside the food court, or upstairs. If you say, I want a restaurant with an underwater theme where all the servers are on roller skates, what's the food going to be like? Oh, I don't know. Comfort food, basta. Now that's a concept. That's it's a gimmick. It's external. What I'm looking for in a restaurant is soul, and it's a very abstract word, but then I think you know what I'm talking about. It comes into the why of a restaurant. Like, why does this restaurant exist? And among the reasons why a restaurant exists, there will always be the need to make money. So if you say, why are you doing this restaurant? Why does this restaurant, is this restaurant around? What's your purpose in being here? Making money is a very valid part of the equation. But then I think you will sense it if making money is the only reason that the restaurant has to exist. The best restaurants have soul, and into that, and you'll feel it, because it'll have a certain uniqueness, it'll have a certain identity. It places value on the customer. So you get the feeling that there's someone who's putting their blood, sweat, and tears, as mentioned, into the restaurant. They've put their life on the line for the restaurant. And without that element of soul, I think that a restaurant can't be truly alive. Okay. Now, we've talked about two elements of the restaurant world, the restaurateurs and the food critics. And now, I think I have to mention the customers, which is all of us in this room. What can customers do for the restaurant? I think everyone has a responsibility to be better customers. And by that, it's the basics. Tip well if you had a good experience. Tip well. If you made a reservation and you're not planning to honor it, and if you're not planning to go, something came up, call the restaurant and cancel the reservation, because restaurants can lose tens and thousands of pesos if people don't shop for the reservations. Third, and most importantly, if you liked something about the restaurant, or if you didn't like something about the restaurant, tell them. Because it's the people who keep quiet who will kill the restaurant, who will kill the restaurant and the restaurant industry. These are the people who don't say anything, but then they go home and say, and tell their friends, oh, you know what to do. And these are problems that the restaurant owner or manager or chef need to know about. So, and all of this will come back to us in the end, because we will have better restaurants. We will have a better restaurant scene. We will enjoy better food. So that's what I ask from you. Be better customers. Thank you very much.